Bueno, chicos, bienvenidos. Before the start of the first class lecture, I thought I would give you a little overview about the class, just so you know a little bit more details, and so that if you have any questions, you can ask them the first day of school, right? So I am your instructor, Profe George. Right? So we're going to start with some information, right? This is my information. Like I said, Prof. George. My office is in Babbitt 329. You have my email. You've been getting emails for quite some time now. This are going to be my office hours from Mondays and Tuesdays from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. And my nationality is Mexico Americano, Mexican American, right? Now, some course information, just generally, right? So you know that the course is going to help you or teach you comprehension, speaking, reading, and writing abilities, right? As well as some grammar, vocab, conversation, and culture, right? So those are going to be our main focuses in this course. And this is a continuation of the Spanish 101 class, if you've taken it. Right? And the goal of the course is to help students develop the ability to communicate in Spanish, right? So we're going to expand on that knowledge that you got from either previous classes in high school or Spanish 101. Right? The materials, we definitely need the textbook and the SuperSite code. And there is a link to that, or you can send me an email if you have any more questions about that. Passcode to the SuperSite comes with your textbook. We're going to have a class site that you can visit with all information and resources. And we're also going to use some other materials like reading, cultural materials, other resources like audios, videos, and everything like that. For homework, we have some like main assignments throughout the semester, right? So we're gonna do the vocabulary and grammar exercises in Vistas. Those are going to be per chapter, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about those. You'll also have to complete some listening activities, right? So you'll choose an audio or a video related to the content of each chapter. Then you're going to turn in an assignment answering some questions corresponding to the audio or video that you choose, right? We also will have what it's called extensive readings, right? So you will read various articles on the web and then write following a little template, answering some questions, write a summary about the article, write any new words that you learned, and things like that. I have an example on BeavyLearn as well as in the class site, so you can check that out if you have any more questions. But basically, we're going to do 24 articles during the semester, right? So 2 articles per week. And those are going to be turned in every Friday. And we're going to turn them into BeavyLearn in the tab called Lectura Extensiva, right? You can earn extra credit on these ones. You can do double the articles, right? So instead of 2 articles in 1 week, you could do 4 and earn extra credit. And this is going to be part of that participation homework, listening exercises, and extensive reading part of 20% of your grade. Right. We also will have 3 compositions. These are going to be at-home compositions, right? You will get a prompt, and you'll answer it in a writing format, paragraph style. For the compositions, you get the chance to turn in a first draft, which is worth 75% of your grade. Then I check it, give you feedback, anything to correct, and then you turn it in again as your revised version, and that earns you the other 25% of your grade. Right? So we'll talk specifics about compositions once we get started with the class. But we also will have a cultural diary, which will have 3 entries related to the topics in the textbook, right? And pretty much you want to be creative, add pictures, sounds, colors, etc. with this cultural diary. And the 3 entries are going to be here, right? So the first one is you're going to describe a typical dress or clothes in a Spanish-speaking country, right? The second entry, you'll answer or you'll write your entry about a recipe for your favorite dish. And then the third one and last one, a holiday in a Hispanic country, right? So these are the 3 topics. You'll turn in this one as well as a draft, then I'll check it, give it back to you with any corrections. And this is at the end, you're going to turn in a final draft. Right? For exams, we have 50-minute chapter exams at the end of every chapter, right? So this changed a little bit. If you were in Spanish 101, we used to have weekly quizzes. Now we're going to have chapter exams, right? So at the end of each chapter, we're going to take a test, and that will include some grammar, vocab, reading comprehension, right? And at the very end of the semester, we're going to have a final exam. This exam is going to be cumulative, right? So with the 5 chapters that we learned throughout the semester, you'll be tested on those. And then we also have oral assessments this semester. This one is a new assignment as well. So we're going to have 5 video recordings of role plays related to situations in each chapter, right? So you and a partner are going to connect through Zoom or any other instrument, but I recommend Zoom, and I'll give you instructions on this. But basically, you'll connect with each other, and you're going to role play a scenario or a situation that's in the chapter. You're going to record that and send that to me as a video. And we're going to have 5 of those, right? And at the very end of the semester, or towards the end, we're going to have an interview between you, a classmate, and the instructor, right? So this is going to be pretty much the instructor asking questions to both of the students, and then the students performing a little role play activity at the end, right? And then also we have an electronic portfolio. So at the end of the semester, you'll submit an electronic portfolio as a Google website, and I'll talk a little bit more about how to create that. But this is basically going to have language samples selected by you. And what's pretty neat about this one is that you are going to pretty much have everything except the introduction and the conclusion, right? Because this portfolio is going to include those role play videos, right? So you're going to choose one, explain why you chose it, and then put it in the portfolio. You're going to also include some reading assignment, writing assignment, which you can include your composition, right? Your revised composition. Some of the listening exercise you can also incorporate. And then cultural understanding, which would be part of the cultural diary, right? So at the end of the semester, you pretty much revise your work and then put it into an electronic portfolio. Yep. And then the grading system. So we have 20% dedicated towards participation, vistas, listening exercises, and extensive readings. The 3 compositions are going to be worth 7%. The cultural diary, it's 8%. The chapter exams, 15%, right? So big part of your grade. The final exam is 10%. The oral assessments, 15%. And finally, the electronic portfolio, which is worth the highest amount, 25%, right? There is an attendance policy, right? Well, so attendance is mandatory to all online and in-person sessions. You have 4 unpenalized absences, right? So with those 4 absences, you can miss class and you won't be deducted any points. You are responsible for completing any work that you missed, right? But after the 4th absence, 5% of your final grade will be deducted, and 1% for every absence after that, right? 10 or more absences will result in an automatic F. So you really want to be careful with your absences, and also I would say be pretty open with communication, right? So you always email me, you always let me know if you're gonna miss and if there are any reasons behind why you're missing, so we can work something out. Yeah. We are also going to talk about retro credits the first day of school, so I'm not gonna touch on that just yet. But pretty much generally the classroom policy is creating a safe, positive learning environment, right? Respect. I think this is like the most important part. And then you can check the complete classroom instruction policy in the NAU Student Handbook. My office hours, like I said, are going through BeBlink Collaborate. Mondays and Tuesdays, 11:30 to 12:30, or by appointment if you can make those times. And here are some helpful links that you can follow. I'm going to put this or link this presentation in the Google class site that I'm going to send to you guys so you can check these out. But that is it for now. That was the general overview of the class. I'm going to talk a little bit more the first day of school, and then if you have any questions, you can ask them to me that day, right? So I'll see you guys in class. Adios.